friends. How are you today? So good to see you. Oh my God, you know I'm living my best life because I absolutely love doing this. I'm so excited and honored and privileged to introduce you to Den Karnitskiy. Did I say it right?
Yep, perfect.
Yes, yes, we're off to a great start. And he is a home inspector and commercial inspector. We'll get to that a little later with National Property Inspections. Am I
Yep,
two for
perfect.
two?
Yeah, yeah.
Good, I'm gonna take down my notes. Well, all right. Enough of being silly. It is so good to see you. I hardly wait to deep dive into this because people don't understand the importance of a home inspection. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like on the residential side when someone's buying, their home. There's a lot of first time home buyers, there's a lot of VA home buyers, and this is their first time around the whole process. They may just not be familiar with it, whether it's like a home inspection or termite inspection or anything like that that's part of the lending process. And there's just like a lot of steps to it, and so it's super beneficial to, get the inspection. A lot of lenders do require it, especially with the termite stuff, but yeah.
So in Houston, it's not a matter of if you get termites, it's a matter of when.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but I'm going to back up because a home inspection and will really tell you what's going on in the house. It's not a
Mm.
be all end all. It is to give you a health update of what's going on in a structure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So like like whether it's a new build or a pre-existing home, like it's very important to understand what's happening in the house. Like you mentioned with the termite stuff, like not when and if. Same situation with a home. It's like not when, but like I'm not if, but when will the maintenance be required? So it's good to understand what you're getting into. So like for example, you have like the roofing system or like the HVAC system, and they have different maintenance cycles, different ways to approach it. So it's if you're buying a home and you think that, okay, well, let's say the seller's disclosure says the roof is only 5 years old, so you're thinking, oh, like I have at least 15 years on this roof. And then you move into the house and a year later you find out, no, I need the roof replaced right now. That's a horrible position to be in. So that's something that a home inspection could prevent. So like that way you can understand that, okay, maybe I only have 1 or 2 years left with this roof. Maybe or maybe I do have 10 years, so I can focus on other repairs in the short term, to make the home livable for people. And the same thing on the new build, like like nothing is ever perfectly done, and sometimes just a second set of eyes can prevent like the simplest things from spiraling out of control. And especially when you have the builders, the crews are there on site usually a lot of times because they're still building other homes. It's very easy for them just to send someone out and correct these minor things, that are minor on the front end, but if left untouched for a year or 2 years, that could really spiral into something. So yeah, like and it's relatively inexpensive. Like now to even get like a contractor out, you're looking at like $500 just to kind of like do the most basic stuff. So yeah.
So you touched on a good point. You are trained, you have tools, you have instruments, you've got lots and lots of training behind you to know what to look for. This is
Mhm.
not just someone going and looking at the roof from the base floor and saying, oh
Right.
yeah, that looks good. Or
Yeah.
the HVAC, you open the closet, oh yeah, it looks good. No, no, no. There are lots of steps, lots of
hmm
procedures that you follow to really test what's going on in the house.
Yeah, exactly. And especially like in Texas, with Trek, like home inspectors are super regulated here into like what the standards of the practice are and the processes that they want you to follow, which is it's helpful for everybody because the standard, especially for residential customers, because they know exactly what they're getting each time, so they understand so that like exactly what you're saying. There's going to be procedures that are followed, tests that are done to ensure that the home is livable, or that if there are things wrong, you understand what they are, prior to moving into the house, so you can address those issues in a timely manner.
Yeah. So no
Yeah.
house is perfect. Someone needs to
Nothing.
it's
Yeah.
not out there, but you do get an idea of what you're getting into. And do not try to save a couple $100 and skip this process. That is
hmm
the biggest mistake you can make. I'm a former real estate agent, so I can
Yeah.
say this with the utmost authority. Do not skip this step. It is so important. And you're buying the biggest thing you're ever going to buy. And do not skimp on the home inspection. Do not do it.
Mhm. Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like repeating myself again. Call 10, get this done. People understand what's going on. And also, I'm glad you brought up new builds. Do not skip the inspection on a new build.
Yeah.
Even if you've got, well, we've got warranty, we've got a 2-year, 3-year warranty, you still need to know what's going on in the house. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And like you mentioned, a thing on the new build is that you actually like when you're buying a pre-existing home, a lot of times, the seller may not want to correct these things, so you end up negotiating price.
yep.
But on a new build, almost always they'll correct everything. You know what I mean? So they'll especially if there's things wrong and you can document and you can show pictures and you can be like, well, this is wrong because of this reason. They'll come out and fix it, and then you don't have to worry about it. And that's just such a huge benefit that just that having the builder there provides.
So what are the main parts of the home that you inspect? Just the.
So I'll start from the top down. So the roof, we go into the attic, we check out the structure of the attic, make sure that everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. The insulation, oftentimes the furnaces are in the attic, so we'll check out that. Then in the main house, all the interior walls, all the bathrooms, the plumbing, the kitchen, the appliances. So the microwave, the dishwasher, the garbage disposal if there is one, the dryer exhaust vent, that's like a super commonly missed item in homes, and especially on older homes you can have 20 years of lint buildup and think people don't think to look. um then in the foundation of the home, the grading surrounding the home, the drainage of the roof system entirely, the gutters, just the top to bottom, the whole thing. Then the electrical panel, we'll open up the actual panel, look at the wiring, make sure all the wiring looks good, make sure the service entrance into the house looks good, the gas system if there is one, the water heater, whether it's tankless or like a 50-gallon, 40-gallon tank. So we have everything, the entire house, the condenser unit on the exterior, gets inspected. Yeah.
And you get the inspection report. So as a consumer, as a home buyer, you get the inspection report, and don't freak out. Everything is listed.
Yeah, yeah, and so I use Spectora, which is like it's considered like an industry leading software for the inspection report. And what's really nice is it make because again, Texas is heavily regulated in how these reports should look, and a lot of times it's very tedious to get through the report. It's a lot of information, So the software that I use has like a separate landing page that makes it really easy to break down and to just kind of look at the pictures one at a time, and it's not as robust of words and all this stuff as the Texas report does. So customers love that. It just makes it really easy for them to digest. Big pictures, arrows pointing at stuff.
Color
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah, it even lets you put videos in.
oh, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you do what you love to do? What's your favorite part about this?
Well, I love the education aspect of it, because a lot of people are busy, they have their lives, they're just like they don't think about, the systems of a house, and how they operate, and it's just not something that, is interesting to a lot of people. And then so for me, it's just like I do enjoy it, and it's a great opportunity to kind of just, show somebody that, hey, like, if you can kind of look at the house and you like, for example, like something as simple as drainage, right? Like you can kind of have guide them and see like, well, how the water will flow through the through the roof and then down the valleys, and then how it'll drain away from the house, and you can kind of describe it to them, and you just kind of see it click in people's heads. It's like, oh wow, this is interesting, I've never thought about this. I really like that aspect of it. And like I mentioned earlier, there's like a ton of first time home buyers. So like I'm a firm believer in like the American dream, and in like building wealth through real estate. I think it's one of the best mechanisms to create, generational wealth and stuff. And just watching people participate in that process is great. And then I also feel like a lot of times the the buyers like like the inspector is really unbiased because I don't have money riding on the transaction, right? So it's like to me it really doesn't matter what happens, so it's a good opportunity to kind of to present to the buyer of the house that like, hey, this is just is what it is. you know, like whether you fix it or not, you know, like I'm not making money on you fixing the house. I'm not making money, you know, I'm not losing money if you negotiate a price. So I like the fact that the buyers oftentimes know that, you know, that I'm on their side, that we're just kind of trying to find the best situation for them, and that's important to me too, you know, to make sure that the clients are getting a great experience. And and yeah, like just I love the real estate in general. Like I think it's just a fantastic, you know, super American thing that we do here, you know. And like yeah, it's just great.
Well, very good. Again, this is your biggest advocate when you are buying a house. This is it. You need to have this done. You need to have someone that you trust to do it. Again, you were very neutral. You were not part of this deal. You were just there to educate and give a synopsis of the condition
Yeah,
of the house. So
yeah,
you have, yes, then you can trust him. He's been highly trained and expert in this. So I highly recommend get
yeah.
an inspection done.
Yeah. And can I mention one thing about commercial stuff too?
Oh,
So
yeah, sure.
there's with commercial, you know, the other great thing about that is the clients are very different. So there's like all these things we were just talking about with residential, you know, it's a very emotional process for a lot of people. It's you know, there's a lot riding on it. This is where they're going to spend the next decade of their life, if not longer. You know, commercial is very different. It's very by the numbers, and it's really interesting to me to be able to provide that service as well, you know, because it's a whole different thing. Like, so when people are buying a commercial property, a lot of times, you know, they are expecting to have, you know, repairs every single year, you know, for their capital expenditures, and these are things that they're going to do. So that's like a whole different way to think about it, because now you're outlining processes of like, okay, well, you know, you have like 5 years left on the roof and you have 12 HVAC units, right? So let's set up a system where we're replacing two a year, you know, and then that way, like, you're not getting hit all at once, and like it's just a very different way to think about it. And so like again, like I really do love the whole real estate process, but it's amazing to just the difference in thought processes between when someone's buying a home for themselves versus someone's investing in some real estate. You know, just very different.
Very different. Well, thank you for keeping me honest
Yeah,
and bringing that up. That's a very good note. So commercial and residential. So what is
cool.
the best way to reach you? Phone number, email, combination of both?
Yeah.
What's the best?
So uh phone number would be the best way to reach me. You could call, text. Should I give my number or
Yeah, what's that number?
yeah.
Real
So
slow for us that like to write.
it's 281 98
281. Wait, oh, start over. I'm all over you. Okay, so
sorry,
what?
sorry.
I'll be quiet. What's your phone number?
281 985 1333.
Okay. Is that the best way? Do you want to do
That's
an
the
email?
best way.
Okay.
There's also my website, which is npihouston.org. So npihouston.org. You could book an inspection through the website. I only leave two time slots open. So if there's something that you want that's not available, contact me. We can definitely squeeze something in. And then my email is din@npihouston.org. So that's din@npihouston.org.
Perfect. So there you can contact them any way it's convenient for you. You can book online. And again, Jen is someone you can trust and really count on. So thank you so much for being here today. I love these. They are educational, and I appreciate your time and your insight and your expertise.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Thank you, friends. And we will see you soon. Bye. Thanks, Jen.